Our ancestors had a variety of means of keeping and tracking time. Even though they lived without calendars and clocks, they knew how many days they had spent at a particular place. Just as the borrower knew exactly when to pay for his debt, they also knew exactly what time and date it was. Sometimes they used technologies like notches on a stick, marks on a wall, or corn kernels placed in a basket. They calculated what time of the day it was by the height of the sun. Months were calculated according to the cycles of the moon. The passage of time in years was noted according to the agricultural calendar. My focus, however, is going to be the GaDangme calendar that my ancestors have kept to date. But first, a parenthetical statement. Ghana is located almost at the point of intersection of the 0-degree latitude, that is the Greenwich meridian, and just about 5 degrees north of the 0-degree latitude, the equator, thus making Ghana the geographical center of the world, making it have a tropical climate. Ghana does not experience the seasonal changes of spring, summer, fall, and winter as in the temperate region. Instead, Ghana has two main climatic seasons, the wet season and then the dry season. Across the board, the rainy season, which is the wet season, lasts from March, April to November. From December to March, a dry, cold harmattan wind blows from the northeast from across the Sahara Desert, causing hot days and cool nights. The average temperature of Ghana ranges from 70 degrees to 80 degrees, with a relative humidity of between 70% to 85%. Rainfall averages range from 31 to 85 inches. Now the GaDangme calendar. As against the 7 days that make 1 week in the Julian calendar, the GaDangme traditional calendar recognizes 8 days, that is, from say one Monday to the next Monday for the week. Thus, for purposes of celebration of major festivals like the annual Maawe festival, the Dantuwulomo who keeps the traditional calendar saves and stores a daily stock of seed corns in a special grass stalk or purse. Each bunch represents the 8 days of the week. In that wise, the calendar weeks of 1 year of 365 days therefore works out to be 46 weeks. The Dantuwulomo who I mentioned is the high priest of the Lamtejawe clan. He is the one who keeps the traditional calendar. He is also the planter and harvester of the Maadumo millet and corn. Maadumo is the ritual planting of millet and corn in a sacred farm to effectively place a ban on noise-making, funerals, and then burials. A 6-week period of quietude is placed in the land. This Dantuwulomo is the one who actually declares a period of quietude in the land. This individual is the one who determines our calendar. As mentioned earlier, he saves and stores a daily stock of seed corns in a special grass stalk or purse, each bunch representing the 8 days of the week. The change in weather, stars, flowers, plants, sun, animals, and rain is also used as well to determine the calendar or months. Our forefathers used this mode of calculating the days, weeks, and months of their year even before the scientific Julian calendar came to be. The Ghana calendar stipulates 13 months in the year, not 12. By that calculation, the calendar month is roughly 3½ weeks. Our forebears had some steeping in stargazing and astronomy because on the vast ocean and seas, without the aid of compasses, sextants, GPS navigation aids, or the beacon of land-based lighthouse, they were able to determine which way was east, west, north, and south. Using the direction of flow of the ocean currents, they were able to determine by the current flow how to navigate towards land. They were aided by the rising, setting, and relative motions of the moon, the planets, and the stars in the heavens. It is in this wise that they named certain months of the year after the names of certain stars or planets. Now let's look at the names of the 13 months. Arabata, Oflɔ, Otsokrikri, Abebe, Agbienaa, Otukwajan, Maawe, Manyawale, Ayton, Alemle, Afuabe, and then Yakanyon. It is good to know that the first of the month is September, not January, Arabata. Let's go through the list from January, and I would give some details on this first month, Gbo, September. January is Harabata. The name comes from the weather, a very dry month where you have dry winds blown from the Sahara Desert, which causes withering of leaves and drying of ponds. It is usually chilly in the mornings and in the evenings. February is Oflɔ. The name comes from a plant or flowers. We have beautiful flowers appear in this month. There is intensely hot sunshine causing uncomfortable sweating, while leaves and field grass also wither. March is Otsokrikri. The name comes from the sun. It's named for the obvious withering of leaves and relentless heat of the sun. It's very, very sunny and hot in Otsokrikri, March. April is Afuabe. We get the name from insect, butterflies. Butterflies are Abe. The month is named for the ceaseless streams of butterflies and moths that destroy ripening mangoes and fruits. This is planting season. Grass and then the forest grow very fast, and it's very windy, and it's full of butterflies. May is Agbienaa. We get the name from rain. This is the raining and harvesting season, the peak of the major raining season actually. Fishermen have a great catch during this month. Otukwajan is June. This is the name of a constellation. You will see a huge bright star with 5 smaller satellite stars around it. July is Maawe. We get the name from the season, that is the wind. The sea becomes much colder and fishermen make huge catches. The name comes from what is believed to be the breeze from the angels, Akwetey, which is felt. The melting snow during the month of November through February descends from the Strait of Gibraltar, and the wind blows from the Strait of Gibraltar all the way down to Ghana. According to Nia J. Clue, there is this species of fishes called the continental chef. They like cold water, so when the wind is blowing and the snow is melting, the fishes swim down to the Atlantic. The name may also be the name of a star. It is identified as one huge star attended by one medium-sized star and a crowd of 9 minor satellite stars. These are said to rise around the middle of June and are visible in the night sky through July to September. There is moderate temperatures on the land and sea. The Obue major sea fishing season starts around this time. August is Manyawale. We get the name from the rain. It's mostly sunny and raining at the same time. It rains sporadically with cool, moderate temperatures. It's nippy at night. Farmers harvest plenty of yam and cassava, and this is the end of our year. Now Gbo, which is September. This is the first of our year. This is actually a minor rainy season, generally a balmy and comfortable period. October is Ayton. It is the name of a star. The characteristics of the star is described as a star with 3 minor stars around it. There is moderate sunshine, refreshingly windy. The sea actually grows calm in October. November is Alemle, a name of a star which is described as a cluster of stars that arises from November and is visible up to December. There is adequate sunshine with tolerable temperatures. December is Afuabe. Afua means fog, so the name is derived from the weather. This is a continuous period of thick fog on both land and sea. And then the 13th and last month is Yakanyon. Because of the system of counting days where 8 days make 1 week, there is a catch-up month reckoned between the month of March and April for purposes of the traditional filing up and alignment with the phases of the moon for calculating the celebration of the various traditional festivals. So this is the GaDangme calendar which we follow. Now let us focus to September, the beginning of the year. We call September Gbo, and as mentioned, it's a minor raining season when it's generally a balmy and comfortable period. One uniqueness about the raindrops in Gbo is that they are huge. The rain is what we use to plant our corn or maize for ingathering, what the Torah calls Sukkot. We call it Mato. If it doesn't rain in September, the first of our month, there's going to be hunger. Why? Because we use majority of our grain for the Passover/Hanukkah feast. So we need to plant the small amount of corn we have left so that we can ingather them before the earth goes to sleep. Now, part of the promise that God gave to the nation of the Hebrews, whom the God people are of, is that if we would love Him and keep His commandments, then He would bless us. The blessing is a promise of enough rain to grow our crops and feed our animals. We have a statement in the book of Joel which goes like this: "Rejoice and jubilate with the Lord your God, for He gave you the teacher for justification, and He brought down for you rain, the former and latter rain in the first month." The first month is Gbo for us, September, which is our first of the year. That is why the raindrops are thick. We are getting a double portion. This is when we plant. God is a farmer. He operates in nature via the agricultural cycles. That is why His feasts are around the agricultural cycles. We have a verse going back to Noah which states, "As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease." Pay attention, it doesn't say harvest and seed time shall not cease. The year begins like nature with seed planting. You cannot begin a year with harvest. Seed time then harvest, which is Gbo, September, for the Ga people. We gather our harvest in before the earth goes to sleep, so we have enough to sustain us till when the earth wakes up again in the spring. Ponder on that statement. Seed time and then harvest. Coming out of Egypt, God through Moshe tells us to keep a calendar starting from the spring. That calendar is not God's calendar. That is the calendar He gave to Israel. You coming out in the month of spring because in spring everything comes out. That is why the text says, this month will be for you, for Israel, not for God. He operates on His seed time harvest calendar that He gave to Noah. The agricultural calendar is different from the calendar that was given to the Hebrews when they left Egypt. He brought down for you rain, the early rain and the late rain in the first month, which is Gbo in the GaDangme calendar.